Cam Rowston has an extremely quick turnaround from his Contender Series victory, where he'll turn around and fight on UFC Fight Night Perth, Australia, headlined by Alberg vs. Reyes. Today we're going to have a look at the highlights of Cam, who had two opportunities on the Contender Series before getting the UFC contract, and his first round finish in his last fight ultimately got him into this position. So without further ado, let's get straight into his highlights. Australian Cam Rowston has been competing in mixed martial arts as an amateur over 10 years ago, fighting his entire regional career in the flourishing Australian and New Zealand fighting scenes. He's a two-time King of the Ring kickboxing champion, which seems like you just need to kind of have that to join City Kickboxing. Basically, all of his prospect teammates have also won King of the Ring. He won mixed martial arts titles in 3 different organizations between 185 and 205 pounds. After going 4-1 with 3 finishes, all consecutively to gift wrap his amateur career, he debuted as a professional at the end of 2016, and it was actually the start of his pro career. The first 2 years that would be the rockiest in his mixed martial arts career. He'd win in his pro debut in the first round, but then he would go on to concede 2 fights in his next 4, leaving him at 3-2 by 2 years into his professional career, and this was where he'd start going on a run. He would reel off 2 more wins before getting his first regional title opportunity in New Generation Cage MMA series. He would fight and win the middleweight title in his 8th professional fight, and then continue to reel off wins. He'd win before he'd end up in Shuriken Fight Series with another title opportunity in regional MMA again here, but this time at 205 pounds, 20 pounds heavier than his last regional title opportunity. And in the fight, he would win in dominating fashion, landing the 3rd round submission win after really dominating the rest of the fight. And this would be the first time he would get a Contender Series opportunity, and he would take on now hated Torres Finney in his first Contender Series opportunity. He would be a pretty big underdog in the contest. Finney would go out and use his wrestling to kind of dominate the fight, but nonetheless, this was one of Torres Finney's fights on the Contender Series where he didn't actually get a UFC contract. He was the only one on the show not to get a UFC contract, and for Cam, he'd have to go back to the drawing board and try and earn his way back, and that's exactly what he did. Starting his revenge tour immediately after the Torres Finney fight, he would reel off an SFL catchweight title, as well as 2 more wins before getting the call back to Vegas. Cam said before the fight felt like this was just business. It didn't have the same flash that he felt with his first opportunity, and he went in there and absolutely dominated the fight. He landed a big shot and then continued to put big shots on his opponent until the ref was forced to step in. When he walked out, you could clearly tell that this was a revenge mission from a fighter that has a ton of great training partners out of City Kickboxing and has uber talent and was really meant to be in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Now, nonetheless, let me know your guys' thoughts on Cam in the comments section below. He makes his UFC debut this weekend, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does with the elite of the elite at middleweight. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.